How's everybody today? Well, we're standing here in front of the Ransomes 728D. It's a front mounted mower. This is the mower deck I built. It's over 2 years ago now. So it's done 2 full summers. It's done a little bit this so far this spring of cutting. And it's been great. It's been fantastic. The paint's holding up. A little scratched up here on the edges because that's normal. I know what that's from, but I've got I got quite a bit of paint left over, so I'm gonna, on a dry day, it's been raining, it's wet right now, that mower deck. I think it's rained every day for the last 8 days or so. So yesterday it rained almost all day. I ordered new casters for the front, those foam filled cheap wheels on Amazon. They have 6204 bearings, I think, with a flange on them. There they are. And I don't know, I'm pretty happy with them. But I know they're cheap and they're not going to last. These original wheels, where we just couldn't keep them. Look at the bearings. Just like new, those bearings. I could not keep them inflated anymore. I mean, look at the hole. Looks like a bullet hole in there. The rubber is kind of totally deteriorating, and I don't even know. You can't get these things off the rims. I'm gonna try, but see if I can get new tires and tubes, or I think they're tubeless. Yeah, they're tubeless. Yeah, so I'm gonna bring them with me to the tire shop and ask them what they can do with those. I think we're gonna need to put these back on at one point. This will get us through the summer, but I don't think they'll work more than a year or two. So what's the other thing? Oh yeah, they were too wide. So I cut, 1/4 of an inch off each side, about 1/2 inch total. The grease zerts, then the hole for the grease zert was covered by the bearing when the bearing was pressed back in. So I re-drilled and I put 1/8 bigger grease zerts. These things here, I were loose with my fingers. I think they would have fallen out. And I put Loctite. So you just got to take matters in your own hands, and maybe we'll get 2 summers out of these. They were cheap. They were, I think, around $45, $50 each, delivered right to the door. I ordered them in January because I never seem to have time in the summer to do all this stuff. So I have an issue with clearance here. The old tire was rubbing there, but this is a foam filled. It's not flat. It's really rubbing hard. It actually doesn't spin at a certain point in the travel. So I'm going to undo these bolts. I'm going to make a plate to go in between there. And exact plate, same as shape and size as this, and then drill 4 holes, and then I'll have to get longer 1/2 inch. I think those are 1/2 inch. Are they 1/2 inch bolts? I think they're grade 8 bolts. I don't know if I have any. I doubt I have any. I don't know, they're not grade 8. So I'll just see what I got. Maybe go down to the hardware store and get some. And this one over here has got clearance. It's not rubbing there, never did rub. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. It's hydraulic driven. This whole tractor is driven by hydraulic motors. So 1 on the mower deck, 1 on each wheel. And when you turn, it does not, there's no mechanical 4-wheel drive on. It's 4-wheel drive. So it does not turn up the turf. So it's got its advantages, but it doesn't have a hill climbing granny gear like a low light range like the Kubotas do and a lot of other models. Yeah, so the tire on this side just keeps, no matter what I took that tire off the rim last year. I don't think it's leaking at the valve stem. I painted the rim, reinstalled it, still having trouble. I think I'm going to put a tube in there, so I'll write down the size of that and get a tube. I'm tired of flat tires. My nickname for this place is Flat Tire Farm. I bought this thing last year. Not that last year, this year, when I was down in Kentucky. 20-volt Mower. It's a Harbor Freight special. It's got a, what is this, 5 amp hour battery. You wouldn't believe what the cost for this. The charger, the battery, and the tool was $89 US. So couldn't say no to that, and it works like a charm. I mean, the hardest part of doing this whole with the old gas blower was to get it started. It was always choke it just the right amount and not flood it. And this one here, you just push a button. It doesn't blow like my old gas one, but it does kind of work a little bit. Works a little bit. It's fast. On and off, no smell of gas. Yeah, I like it. So that's what I'm up to. I thought I'd just give you guys. I have the cover for this, and 2 winters in a row now. I just had it on the list to get done. Never. If the shop gets down below, what is it, 40, 45 degrees, 50 degrees Celsius, Fahrenheit, 15 Celsius, you shouldn't really paint. And I have to heat up an entire shop to do a little bit of painting, so I never got around to it last winter. Maybe this summer it'll get done. I think if I put that cover on there, it would keep it a lot cleaner underneath. The old mower deck was so rusted, it was full of holes all through here. So the grass clippings blow up, which shortens the life of your mower deck even more, because it just packs full of grass, overheats your bearings, overheats your belt, and holds water when it rains. It's just an all-around detrimental thing for a mower deck, but it's the most abused part of any tractor, any lawnmower, is that mower deck. So all new bearings, brand new deck, all built. I reuse some of the parts. These little parts on the side and the casters and that frame was all reused. There's videos on that. Nobody watched it, but there are videos. And I actually went from, I think originally it was so rusted, there's only a few spots I could measure. It was 1/8 of an inch thick, the top, and I bought a 3/16 sheet, so it's heavier, weighs more, should last longer. Yeah, when I got it, I think it was just a little over 10 years old, and it needed to be replaced back then. So I found a mower deck at a few places in the States. I would have to have it shipped or go get it, which is not really feasible. These things weigh about 350 pounds, and the prices were between $4,000 and $6,000 just for the mower deck. So it was not an option. The best solution for me was to just build one myself. It turned out great. So we got lots of grass to cut. The grass is just growing and growing and growing. We got all this rain. The dandelions, looks like beautiful yellow flowers, but they're dandelions, of course. So that's what I'm up to these days. I got lots of other projects. I got so many projects on right now. Unbelievable. So I can't get everything done. Like, everyone's the same. Everyone's in the same boat. There's a little 3-cylinder, 28 horsepower Perkins diesel right there. Very efficient, very fuel efficient, very powerful, and starts good. Probably needs an oil change. I gotta check that. I think it's due for an oil change. I'll show you the inside underneath the seat here. It's kind of cool in there. Come on. It's unlike any other tractor you've ever seen. So look at the stuff in here. All it is one big massive hydraulic transmission and a pony pump, like a pump. There's a pump for the transmission back here. This little pump, I think it only lifts and lowers the mower deck and the power steering, so they both run on hydraulic fluid. And then you got this massive filter right here. That's got to be changed as well. So hoses go to each wheel. These are the back wheels over here, and then I think the front motors, I don't know where they go. It's pretty cool though. It's nothing, you'll never see another tractor like it, because it's the diesel fuel tank. It actually goes underneath the frame and back out on top. I'll show you the other side. It looks small, but it's not. And there's hydraulic oil for the transmission. So over here, it looks like this is the fuel tank, and then when you're filling it up, it just seems to take fuel forever because There's this huge section here you can't see. And then what else? I think I've covered everything mostly. There's your big massive transmission cooling oil cooler. It looks really big, but it only goes down about 3-4 inches. And in here is the engine cooling rad. So it's just all empty space underneath this rad under there. But what it does is it ducts sucks air from above right through this mesh here down. Well, generally clean air. Higher you go, cleaner the air. And then it directs it down through the transmission cooler, and then it turns 90 degrees, goes through this rad, and it blows the heated air, the warm air from, a lot of tractors are like this, they blow the heat forward, and some of it actually blows up around the side here onto the operator, but just gotta live with it. Helicopter going by. Last time I checked was quite a while ago, so I'm not sure if they still make this model, but they had panels on here on the side. 2 steel panels. I've always thought maybe I'll make them and put them on there. And when you lower the hood, those panels fit behind here, and they block this area, so they force the air down out the bottom instead of onto the operator, which makes sense. And then one time we had a branch go in here. It went in somehow and hit it jumped the belt off right there off the alternator. The engine got hot. I was operating it when that happened. It was getting dark, so it's got a temperature gauge up here. I noticed the temperature gauge went way up, and I shut it off right away. I looked around and I saw the belt was off. So that panel would also stop the anything going in there. So yeah, I repainted the stripe on this side last summer. Something's hit it there, but that's what it used to look like. This one I'll try and get done this summer. It's just priorities. And then if I do retouch up the Mower deck, I'll sand these areas here and touch them up. That's a pretty close match, that green. It looks like factory original paint. I brought something in. I think I brought this cover in. I took this cover. The bolts aren't even back in it yet, because once in a while I gotta get in there. So I pulled that cover off and I brought it into a paint store, and they matched it up and it was pretty damn close, like, can't knock it. It's not John Deere green, it's Ransom green. So there's about 15 minutes of me rambling. 13 minutes, that's enough. So thanks for watching. Oh, we gotta touch this up too. And the year is written right in here somewhere. 1998. It's a great little machine. Thanks for watching.